Welcome back, fabulous scholars. In the tale of the ebony horse, Kamar al-Akmar has fallen in love with Shams al-Nahar, and she has fallen in love with him, but he and the ebony horse disappeared, and nobody knows what happens. Let's see if we can figure it out. When Prince Kamar al-Akmar returned to his father's kingdom, the whole countryside was grieving, and the palace balcony where he set down the ebony horse was strewn with ashes of mourning. That means of sadness. Who has died? He asked anxiously when he found his mother, father, and sister all weeping in one room. At the sight of him, they leapt up and danced with delight. Where have you been, core of my heart's fruit, son of my old age? Asked King Sabur. For we saw you fly towards the sun and certain destruction, like a moth towards a candle flame. The sorcerer who made that evil horse has been locked in my deepest dungeon, for he undoubtedly expected you to die. Oh, free him, father, for his evil intention brought me nothing but good. Then Kamar told his story and begged his father to send ambassadors to Sana to ask for the hand of Shams al-Nahar. No, no, son, for you were received there like a common burglar and entertained with violence. Besides, the daughter's tears will long since have dried, and your name will be nothing to her but a half-remembered sound heard through a wall. Women's love is as short as the stride of a man who is standing still. So, scholars, if you're standing still, how big of a step do you take? Yeah, nothing. No, we shall celebrate your return, select for you 4 of the fairest Persian brides, and lock away the ebony horse which so nearly robbed me and my kingdom of its most glorious prince. Maud, if you're going to listen to the story, you need to sit down. You are not sitting down. No. Excuse me. Kamar could not believe in his heart that the king's words were true. But Sabur, his father, had great experience of the world and the wisdom of an older man. So Kamar was obedient and allowed the celebrations to roll around him like the incoming sea. 7 whole days passed in festivities. Then the prince spoke these words to himself. There is food on every table, and yet there is an emptiness inside me larger than hunger. There is laughter on all sides, and yet my throat is blocked with tears. There are presents given to me every passing hour, and yet I seem to have nothing. He went to the storeroom where the mechanical ebony horse was standing, dragged it to a landing at the head of the stairs, and climbed into the saddle. I must fetch back my Shams al-Nahar, he called out as he swooped low over the heads of his family and relatives and out across the terrace. I have starved my love, but it will not die. I have denied my love, but it will not set me free. As he crossed the palace moat, Kamar could see the wrinkled face of the old sorcerer, newly released from prison, watching him with open hatred. I have told my heart what you say, said Shams al-Nahar to her father, but it will not listen. I have argued with my heartbeat, and I lose every argument. I will not marry my cousin's 3rd nephew's uncle because he is not Kamar al-Akmar. Why shed tears for a boy who has forgotten you already, said her mother. The love of a man, and of foreigners in particular, is as short as your memory of tomorrow. Scholars, how much do you remember of tomorrow? Tomorrow? Yeah, 0. But the princess had cried herself to sleep between her parents, and they left her sleeping and went downstairs with much cursing of love and of Kamar al-Akmar. There is salt water enough in the 7 seas, Shams al-Nahar. Why cry more? Said Prince Kamar, stepping from his hiding place behind a curtain. You are the songbird in my heart's cage, she said on waking and seeing his eyes. You are my crescent moon flying through my night sky, and I have come back for you. She braided her hair with the most valuable jewels and climbed up with him to the roof where they mounted the ebony horse. She sat behind him in the saddle, her arms around his waist, and sang this love song as they flew. I have been without my Kamar 1 long week, but not again, for without him I am summer, drought with a touch of rain. I am now without my mother, father too, and far from home, but because I'm with my love, where in me shall tears find room? Shams al-Nahar did not unclasp her hands until they landed together in the water gardens of Tehran, a mile from the royal palace of King Sabur. Wait here. I shall go ahead and prepare the city to greet you as befits a princess arriving to marry the Prince of Persia, said Kamar. Look after the ebony horse. Do not be long, replied Shams al-Nahar, for no welcome can make up for the time we shall be apart. The princess sat beside a fountain, singing love songs and holding the bridle of the ebony horse as if it might gallop away on its own. This was the sight which met the eyes of the foul-faced sorcerer as he left Tehran. When King Sabur had released the horsemaker from prison, he had made it perfectly clear that the sorcerer would not be given the Persian princess for a bride. Count yourself fortunate that Prince Kamar has begged me to free you, Sabur had said. That is reward enough for an ugly jackal like you. So imagine the mixture of passions, emotions, that seethed in his chest as he walked through the water gardens. Imagine his joy at seeing the horse he had labored long years to create. Child, you must be Princess Shams al-Nahar from the city of Sana in Al-Yaman. Let me bow before you. Shams al-Nahar let out a little scream at the twisted shadow of old ugliness that sprang at her and huddled like a toad at her feet. The princess sent me to bring you into the city, for the streets are strewn with flowers, and there are ribbons flying from every lattice of every window in Tehran. Your wedding canopy has been made of water silk embroidered with diamonds. If you would just help me up on the ebony horse and climb on behind me, I'll bring you to your wedding feast. I don't think he's telling the truth. Because she was sweet-natured and trusting, and because this grotesque stranger knew the secret of the ebony horse, Shams al-Nahar believed his every word. She steadied his buckled, knotty old legs as he climbed onto the fountain wall and then onto the horse. Vaulting daintily into the saddle behind him, she was glad when he knotted his belt around them both for safety, because she did not want to have to put her arms around his waist. A mile above the water garden, where the first drops of dew were gathering along the colored rim of evening, Shams al-Nahar realized they were turning away from the city. Where are you taking me, father of all foulness? Where is my wedding feast? Why are you disobeying your master, Kamar al-Akmar? Him? My master? I, who mastered the secret of flight, am master of 1,000 times more than that smudged painting of a boneless boy. I will give you far less poetry and far more kisses when you are married to me. Shams al-Nahar screamed and tried to break the belt that tied her to the sorcerer and throw herself down through the snow valleys of cloud. But the cloth was magic and it held her like a hoop of steel. I am the grain and you are the millstone, she cried. Will you crush me to dust with such unhappiness? But her terror only delighted the sorcerer, and the ebony horse bucked between his knees. I see a party of noblemen hunting in that wood, he laughed. I will have them witness a marriage between you and me before the sun moves any further in the sky. You may have captured me, O murderer of joy, said Shams, but you can never capture my heart. I gave that to Kamar, and it is safe with him in Tehran. And her tears fell like rain out of the sky and splashed the face of the king of Rum, who was among the hunting party in the wood. No sooner had the king wiped his face and looked around for rain clouds. Then his men brought him word of a strange threesome standing in a clearing close by: an old man, a beautiful young woman, and a life-size toy horse. The king of Rum combed his beard and went to meet them. "King among huntsmen, inventor of grace and royalty," said the sorcerer, screwing his detestable face into a yellow smile. "I have been searching for a man of breeding, chivalry, and rank to witness the marriage of two happy lovers. Will you be so good as to declare us married?" Turning to Shams, he said, "I take you for my wife, Shams al-Nahar." "Well, I refuse you," cried the bride, "for it is against Allah's will that a girl should be married by force to a deceitful barbarian who steals her away from family and fiancé." She shut her eyes as the sorcerer turned on her with his fists raised. Waiting for him to strike her down, she heard the whistle of a sword's blade and felt the belt fall from her waist. Opening her eyes, she saw the body of the sorcerer on the ground with the king's sword through him. I wonder what will happen next. I wonder if Kamar al-Akmar will find her. I can't take it, but we'll have to wait till tomorrow. See you then, scholars.